Ladies and gentlemen, SideStrafe here with War of the Roses, and before we begin, please keep in mind this is a closed beta test, and I do have express permission from Paradox to go ahead and release this footage. But with that said, right off the bat, we gotta talk aesthetics, because this is a great looking game. The little attentions to detail you can just see in this forest, really lush, all the grass and flowers and all the trees swaying in the wind, and the shadowing, lighting, loving it. On top of that, you throw in some awesome ambient audio. We can actually hear the wind and the animals howling in the distance. It's just, I don't know, I love those little details, and I always pay attention to them the second I step into the game. I really feel like I'm in a medieval forest, and everything just works beautifully together. On top of that, you have the texture work and the quality player models in general. The armor looks fantastic, and we're going to see more of that. We're going to see the weapons coming into play here, and so let's get into some of this combat. Enough flower picking. We've taken him out pretty quick, but looks like he was already damaged. So going in for some swings here. You can see it is, for the most part, momentum. You got to hold your swing, charge it up a little bit. And I'm going to go in for the execute here. The piece de resistance. He is done. Good night, sir. And my buddy's going to finish him off as well. That's how you take care of business. Now, the point of the execute is, of course, to prevent any type of revival. The downed player can choose to yield, thereby avoiding that. So we've got a crossbowman. He's charging up a bolt, but we don't want that to happen, do we? Oh, we're getting attacked from the flank here. Love the sounds, the weapon swings, the contact. Weapons actually hitting each other and sparking. Oh, that looks like a headshot of some sort. We're coming in here. This guy's gone melee, and we are being triple teamed here. Quad teamed. More than that. Alright. This is going to be bad. Well, all I can do is perhaps try to get a few final hits in, and here's what it looks like from the other end. That didn't feel so hot. That's that. It definitely makes it personal, because when somebody takes you out, you got to go for that other player. And the fact that you can customize your armor with your house's banner, crest, or emblem, whatever you'd like to call it, you know who killed you. Like, oh, I remember that guy. I'm going to go get him. And since we're at the select profile screen, we can take a look. When you start the game, you only have access to the footman. You level up, you get the crossbowman, longbowman, and finally foot knight, and then you can start unlocking some custom slots that allow you to go through the game with the loadout of your choosing. But as we get back into the game, just something that came to mind. The blood splatter on the screen is a little glitchy at this point in time. Some of the effects are meant to be along the borders of your screen, so hopefully that'll get resolved soon. So moving right along, we are on a 32-player server. This is team deathmatch, so it's all about the killing. Now we do got some bad guys behind me, and these two are chasing him. I'm coming in, hopefully to help out. Oh, some nice swings there. This guy is done. Looks like he took an arrow to the chest, and he is trying to go for an execute. Not a good idea. Really need to work on defending yourself. There we go. Now, you can see that there is revival in this. If somebody goes down, you do have some time to pick them back up and bring them into the fight once more. There is also bandaging. So if I hold down B, if I've taken any hits, I can bandage myself up and bring myself back to 100%. I don't see any health bars in this game, but usually you'll know by the amount of blood on your screen. And I'm not really sure how I feel about that mechanic, because it seems that you have unlimited bandages. So as long as you play smart, you can stay in the fight for quite some time. And as you'll see, this armor is really effective. It alone is just allowing me to stay in the battle. You know, a lot of these hits are sometimes bouncing off of the armor. It'll deflect arrows at times. You know, it really comes in handy. Now, I want to be careful here. We've got a lot of opponents. I'd like to bandage myself, but I don't think I have enough time. I'd like to prevent the execute, but that's just not happening because I'm missing my shots. And I'm pretty bloody here. We are in a bleed out situation here. But that's all she wrote on that one. Once again, pretty violent, up close and personal execution there. Let's get back into the fight. Let's go ahead and go with the crossbowman. Try him out for a little bit. And back in. Now, what you want to do to start, wind up a bolt. This is, of course, the disadvantage to the crossbow. However, the advantage being steady shot. And you'll see how that comes into play once we choose the longbowman. But, of course, this does play similar to Mount and Blade Warband. In terms of realism, it's kind of a mix. It's, in some cases, not as lethal, or perhaps we're looking at the fact that the armor is protecting you a lot more. I'm no expert in regards to medieval combat or weaponry or how effective the plate and chainmail was in those days. So, you know, this could be just right. I don't know. Obviously, in Mount and Blade, you're usually wearing lighter equipment, it seems. There's a lot of more so padded armor or leather, and it really takes a while to actually get into any type of chain or plate. I usually never see any. Not with my skills. But, you know, here's our crossbow going in. Firing a shot. I believe it was deflected by armor because you saw that little shield icon pop up. And you'll definitely know when you get a hit. This is great for close range combat. There's a hit. Nope, that's a miss, actually. Wind up another shot. I do have melee weapons if it does come to that. These people get a little too close. Shot out, but you see it was a blue shield. Time to switch to melee because they're coming up on us. So, obviously I failed to do any significant damage there with the crossbow. And we are now bleeding out. Going down. So, at this stage, I can be revived, but I choose to yield because there's nobody around me that's going to take the time to do so. Let's try to get back in there with that crossbow one more time because I really want to show it perhaps being effective. Although this is me playing, so we know what that means. Again, take some time to wind that bolt up. Get some squad spawn points. Again, squads kind of work like... This is basically medieval Battlefield. I mean, that's my best comparison because you can live longer in this game than you can in Mount and Blade Warband. It's a little bit more forgiving, and it does have the squad spawn features as well as the longevity, I suppose. Bandaging is a bit... I don't think you should have infinite bandages. I really don't. I think some wounds you shouldn't be able to recover from. But, you know, to each their own. I suppose there might be people that will enjoy that feature. Now, as you can see here, I'm reviving this guy. Bringing him back into the fight. Get some points for that, so you always want to do that. So, let's see. Once again. See if we can get a shot off. Missing, just failing here. Miserably. Alright, so this guy's just dying here. Let's see if we can bring him back before anybody decides to attack. Should have finished him, buddy. You weren't thinking. Nope. Failing to lead the target here. I like when there's just a pile of enemies. That way it's impossible to miss, but... Oh! Kind of moved that away. Oh, he was going in for a charge, too. Alright, so perhaps the whole crossbow thing... not my forte. But I can finish people. Definitely good at executing. Uh-oh, this guy's coming in. I was going to go back to bandage myself, but... No, you guys are supposed to stay alive and protect me, because I'm horrible at these games. Although this one does give me more opportunity. It allows me to stay alive a lot longer, and yeah, we're dead. So I'm just going to yield, if it lets me, and yield. Because if you yield, for the most part, you don't give them the satisfaction of executing you, as well as the bonus points. Let's try the longbow. Not that I'm going to do any better with this, but I just want to show it off a little bit. This is really nice as well. Again, similar to how it works in Warband, I believe. Whereas you kind of need to fire the shot as soon as those icons come together, and then if you keep holding it, you start to shake and lose your accuracy. But I believe this game is actually almost over. We will go into another battle, of course. Perhaps transitioning into a conquest mode. Now, if I didn't mention it already, this is a 32-player server, and it looks like we lose. 32-player server at the moment. That's all that's in the beta. The Steam profile page does say that they want to support 64 players, further comparing it to a Battlefield-style game. Now, it's not going to be as large scale as Mount & Blade Warband, so that, you know, is kind of where you can separate the two. This is going to be more tight-knit, smaller scale battles, but you are getting some exquisite visuals with the game engine and just some really tight-knit combat, a lot of attention to detail, whereas Mount & Blade, more so, the advantage to that is just in regards to sheer chaos in large-scale combat. So, in a way, these two games are allies. They're companion games. You can play one for, you know, the large-scale madness. You can play this if you just want something a little more up close and personal. But with that said, let's transition into a conquest game. Alright, here we are in a conquest match. I was hoping to get into a different map, but it would seem that they are swapping out maps for testing reasons. Today it looks like everyone is on this one. But we shall take note of these capture points. You gotta just capture the flag and hold exactly the same as Battlefield, and that's okay. So what we're going to do is try to rendezvous with the rest of the team. You can see in the bottom of the screen the bar, which actually shows who's holding more territory. Right now it's nearly even. See if we can come over this hill. We are obviously using the longbowman, so we'll try to get in some shots here. No promises though. Alright, we've got some people down over here. Maybe we can go in for some revivals as well. Shot out. A little bit of damage there. A knockdown as well, apparently. No dice there. York captured Objective Hall. Now, if you want some fast shooting, definitely go with this bad boy, but... Oh, there's a hit. 41 points of damage. You can have a lot of fun with this class. Load up another one. Oh, there's a 50. And I think he is down for the count. Feel free to execute. Don't really want to worry about the execution right now, though. We want to kind of get rid of this guy. Oh! Looks like somebody's shooting back at me. I do believe I have an arrow in my side. Can't tell, though. But again, fall back, bandage. And good as new, I suppose. Missing that one. Oh, who's doing the shooting? Got an arrow in me chest again. I like how I said me chest. Oh, they're coming up the flank. Oh crap, that guy's aiming right at me while I was bandaging. I just saw him at the last minute there. Yeah, definitely pick a good spot to bandage in, because archers love when you stand still. But we can see him there, so we kind of need to get some revenge. Let's do one more round with the longbowman, because that's kind of fun. Again, I can switch to melee if I so choose. I obviously don't have the armor that the other classes or characters have, whatever you want to call them. So let's see. Now the other map is actually like a full-size castle, and you're fighting to control the different points of the castle. Really well designed. It's a little brighter out, and it's typically raining in that map too, so another nice touch of ambience. And I will definitely create a video showcasing that map if it does become available. Okay, so just becomes a matter of charging in. You can select spawn points and spawn in on squad mates, which is probably what I'll need to do the next time I die, which is typically quite often. So got a whole bunch of enemies out in the distance there. Ah, that's a miss. That was an obvious miss. Oh, this is bad. Oh! I think he deflected that. Alright, time to switch to melee. Leave me alone, I'm an archer. This is not fair. Oh boy, this is bad. Any backup? No backup. I'm dead. And go for the finish him. We're done. It makes it so up close and personal. Like, you really want to exact revenge on that guy. You're like, what's his name? Alright, I might get that guy, you know? And that's what it always comes down to. I mean, here's the footman. I guess we can do some footman action. I probably should have spawned somewhere else. Again, I keep forgetting. But, this character obviously has a shield, which helps with deflecting all types of weaponry, including arrows. And this is a metal shield, so it's not going to break on you. I'm not sure that you can bypass the shield, but again, it doesn't really cover a whole heck of a lot, and it is a lot easier for people to aim at precise points of your body in this game, just because it is a smaller scale battle, and you're typically feels kind of like, I kind of want to say it feels like you're a larger target in this game, so it's a little bit easier for experienced bowmen to go ahead and hit you. And he's done. You want to go ahead and finish him, or should I do it? No, he doesn't want to be finished. Okay, no option there. Do have some contacts here, so again, shield up, just the same as Mountain Blade, but this guy's in his fancy armor, so we got to be careful there. Oh, there's a swing. I can see those little shield icons showing the armor at play. Let's see if we can revive this guy. No, I'm getting charged. Back off. Sorry, buddy. I couldn't do it in time. Oh, there's a headshot, I think. Looked like an upper torso hit at least, and I am down for the count. It's always a gamble to perhaps, you know, continue with a bandage or revival of a fallen. Actually, in that case, I don't know why I chose to yield. I should have just stayed in the fight. Select spawn point. So I suppose I can click here and then spawn, and might be a little closer. Yeah, so we're up on this one. I actually really do like the fact that when you're running, or when you start moving forward, it takes some time to actually build up momentum and pick up speed. You might be asking about friendly fire, because I think you just saw me hit somebody. I don't think there is any turned on at the moment. It does show blood and damage, but I've never killed a friendly, and I don't think anybody has killed me on my team. So I don't know if it's actually activated or if there will ever be an option for it. You know, since this game is kind of the medieval version of Battlefield, I wouldn't mind seeing a kind of a hardcore mode, perhaps. You know, just as an option. Because the more options, the better. And we are toast. Is anybody near for revival? Doesn't look like it, so I shall yield. So, let's see. Let's go back to the Foot Knight and the two-handed sword. And I neglected to spawn at a different location once again. But again, just pay attention to me picking up speed here. And now this is as fast as we're going to move. And I really think that it's a nice subtle touch, because it really makes you feel heavy in this game, you know, just wearing all this armor. I can't even imagine what it would be like to wear a full suit of armor. How hot it could possibly be. And the overall weight. Oh, that looked like a headshot. Very satisfying, though. When you take people out in this, definitely just feels right, you know. And I'm down pretty quick there. Perhaps some nice headshots taking me out. Anybody gonna go for a revival? It's like you're either gonna get revived or executed, so it's your choice. And I think everybody's just kind of busy at the moment, so yeah. Gonna yield. Now there is another interesting feature, considering that I do have a helmet. And I guess we'll go back to this point here. Now if I hit the V key, you can actually see that I've lowered my visor and now I can barely see. Now the visor has been raised, and you will, it's hard, I can't actually show it to you on the player character, but it does visibly change on the model as well as this. So now I actually have more face protection, which is unique. Very realistic, but kind of funny in a way, because you do notice how the game tends to contradict itself, where it'll have some aspects of realism, but then it'll have some really arcadey things. You know, like being able to take as much damage as you can, and of course infinitely bandage yourself. And I am wounded, so you guys want to hold that guy down while I bring myself back into this fight? And, I took an arrow. You fracker. That's not good. Right in the neck too. So much for that armor. And probably shouldn't have stuck around for that execution. It's just like the blank look on their face. Like, yeah, I'm in the process of destroying your neck. Alright, so back in. And perhaps I haven't really figured out how to spawn on squads. Okay. Charge up a hit here. Looks like a jab, and somebody's got an arrow on me. This guy here, we gotta watch out. Looks like I took an arrow through the arm there. Oh, yeah, you wanna... I like going after the ranged characters that feel that they're kind of just invisible. Man, I got some good swings on this guy, but it's just not doing anything. You can see there, finally getting a knockdown. Really could use some backup.
We're on the verge of
point,
defeat.
Looks like I'm gonna bleed out. I don't think I can bandage myself in time. This is where he's gonna come in. Can I finish a bandage? Nope. Couldn't do it. Probably should have just stayed on the defense. I was kind of gambling there. I was thinking maybe I'm gonna bleed out. Maybe I can just get in there, and I almost did. That archer. That kind of ticks me off. See, that's where it gets really personal. And you're like, you son of a gun, sitting back there shooting arrows at me. You really want to get some payback with this game. There's no doubt. But it's all in good fun. It's a blast. But again, I can't get over the attention to detail just of this environment here. These, you know, all these buildings and everything. And the performance is stellar. I mean, obviously, I'm running a GTX 680, so, I mean, it'd be pretty sad if the performance wasn't stellar. There's another archer just chilling. So, you know, there's that. But, again, I am running, you know, DX Story to record this, and I'm typically getting 50 to 60 frames at times. Sometimes it drops to about 40. But, again, with that running. But without it, you can expect sometimes an 80 plus range. So I believe that was a good example of what War of the Roses is all about. You know, again, I see this as more of a companion game to Mount and Blade Warband. It's not something to go against it, because they are published by, they're both published by Paradox Interactive, two different developers, and they're going to take from each other. But this is going to be a really great addition. There are, of course, some bugs and glitches that need to be worked out. The game is set to release, I believe, somewhere around October. They're looking at early October. I wouldn't have a problem with it if they decided to delay it just to smoothen it out, balance the weapons, squash the bugs, because I really think this is going to be a nice one. And considering that you can get this bad boy for 20% off if you already own a Mount and Blade product. And while that is a Steam-only deal, I believe most everyone who owns Mount and Blade pretty much has it through Steam anyway. But on top of that, it will also grant you immediate beta access. So, all in all, really good, you know, first impression of what the beta is. I will definitely have some more footage coming at you. I want to show you some of the other levels, or the other level that I've seen so far, because I'm liking it. So, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me. I will see you on the next one.